Hello everyone, welcome to NGR 3360 tutorial number 2, quiz number 2. So question number 1. A product whose supply and demand curves exhibit no change, as a key point, no change in the curve in demand, as the price for the product's price changes can be described as perfectly elastic. If we look at these very ideal, extremely ideal curve of demand and supply for the perfectly elastic and inelastic, we see the changes in price happen when we have a perfectly inelastic. But while this one is asking about perfectly elastic when we have on same price, the price is constant. So this is false. Question number 2. All sunk costs can be classified as fixed costs. All the sunk costs, we know that all sunk costs are fixed costs, and also non-refundable, while the fixed costs are refundable. So it is true, but keep in mind that the relation between sunk and fixed costs, we have all sunk costs as fixed costs, but not necessarily the fixed costs are sunk costs. Question number 3. Due to a significant drought, it becomes difficult to produce oranges. So the production of the product is affected by the drought. The resulting change to the supply demand curve of the orange can be best described as, let's look at the ideal curve of supply, and the demand, and here, because it affects our supply, so look at the supply. Okay, the supply and demand curve, very highly idealized curve. Since the production of the product is affected, so in order to produce the same product or to supply, so the curve will have a slight shift to the right, to the left, sorry. For instance, any points on this this one will have the same quantity to produce the same quantity. For instance, this is Q0 or Q1 will have, so in order to have the same quantities, this has a slight shift to the left, and obviously the price will change as well. So the answer will be a left shift in supply. Question number 4. Suppose that Norman Nerdo develops a new process to take a live cow in at one end and split the beef patties at the other. In effect, it becomes 90% cheaper to make hamburger compared to before. So basically the cost, the price we pay to have the hamburger is 90% cheaper, so the supply is affected. The resulting change to the supply and demand curve can be best described as, let's look at the supply curve. Okay, so the cost is almost about 90% cheaper than compared to before. So if the same quantity, that's for instance Q1, that cost us on S1, that's C1, or we can call it P1, price 1, So for the same product, we pay almost 90% cheaper. It doesn't show exactly 90% this, but so this is true, which we see a right shift in the supply curve. Question number 5. The average person is willing to pay about $5 for hamburger. Suppose due to a change in the marketing of hamburger, people are now willing to pay $15 for a hamburger. So basically the change in demand. So we have to think about the curve of demand, dealing with the demand curve. So the resulting change in the supply demand curve for the hamburger can be best described as, let's look at the demand curve. So here's the demand curve. The demand curve D1, since more people are willing to pay for more price, like instead of $5, so they're paying $15. So the curve has a slightly right shift with this point to this price. So it'll be a right shift on demand. Question number 6. The scarcity problem is the problem of people having boundless needs, but being limited in resources. So limitation of resources and having boundless needs, that's where the problem of scarcity. Part C. Question number 7. The term marginal cost refers to the minimum price of goods services on mass charge to not lose money. Basically the term marginal cost is about spending extra money as a result of doing additional activity, so it is false. Question number 8. GM is producing a 1,000 impulse a day at its Oshawa plant. It is at full capacity and the average cost of assembly is $2,000. This is to again is talking about the marginal cost, extractivity, full capacity of the plant. So the marginal cost has to be in millions. So part C. Question number 9. What is the marginal cost to enroll in new students into Tutor 360? That's no additional activity, not spending money, so at almost nothing. Question number 10. Number 10, one concept categorize inverted U-curve as it is symmetric from left to right, vertical line, horizontal line, yeah, so it's all of the above. Question number 11. Which of the following has the greatest demand elasticity? Peas, wine, movies, opera, shoes, cars, books. Among these, the peas has the highest rate of elasticity in demand. Can refer to unit 2.1. Unit 2.1, slide 56, comparing the peel with the cigarettes. So question number 12. If a commodity if a commodity's elasticity is greater than 1, in this case, the the price the price will have a inverse relation with the revenue. So increase in price will decrease the total revenue. Part B. Question number 13. Which of the following can be described by a U-curve? The number of glass of wine per week versus life expectancy. These are all on the class size versus academic excellence, happiness versus size of stake. These are all the example for the inverted U-curve, not the U-curve. So none of the above. Question number 16. No, sorry, question number 14. A new feed permits cattle to be raised at the half of the current cost, so the supply cost will go down to half. At the same time, the researchers report that the burger act like Viagra, so that the demand will go down as well. Will it be affected? What will happen to the supply and demand curve of the hamburger? So we have to look at both curves to see what happened. Okay, the supply curve, here the S1. When the price goes half price, so same quantity, give us a half price, so there will be a slight shift to the right, so that is 2. So the supply curve to the right, the demand is also to the right, so demand curve shift to the right, supply curve shift to the right. Part C. Question number 15. So price fixing happens when when the pricing process is regardless of the supply and demand, basically. So it's part B. Question number 16. At the intersection of Taunton and Harmony, Petro-Canada is selling gas at 50 cents a liter less than the Esso station across the street. This will happen. There will be a long lineup at Petro-Canada, obviously. Yeah, nobody will be at Esso. I won't go there. Petro-Canada will soon run out of gas. Sure. So all of the above. Question number 17. Iran is the second largest global exporter of oil, yet it claims it must develop nuclear energy rather than burns its own oil. Why does it not just use of Iranian oil to generate power? Pick the most likely answer. So yeah, it needs the vast revenue from the oil sales to support its economy. So, A. Let's Move to question number 18. If the Canadian dollar falls to 50 cents American, who will be the biggest winner? Ontarian. Yes. Question number 19. In the last 60 years, the average salaries of barbers in Alberta have increased fivefold, exceeding the inflation rate over that time. But the cost of the barbering tools have not changed. Why? Okay, so the opportunity cost and the Haiti, but which, okay, Albertian. So will be 2 and 3. Okay, question number 20, the last one. If the wage of carpenters fall down, what will happen to the average price of the quantity of new homes over the next year? So the carpenters, the wage fall down, the average price will decrease and the number will increase. So number E. This was for quiz number 2. If you have any question in regard to this quiz, you're very welcome to join your chat room or any chat room that you prefer. But if you have question to email to your TA, please email to your own TA. Thank you. See you all in Adobe Connect.